Hey, what's going on, guys? So today we're going to be looking at question number 12, and this is from the SAT 2017 April QAS test. And the question says, the information about statistical measurement in lines 23-27 is presented in order to do something. So for this, what we'll do is we'll go to these lines here, 23-27, and just basically kind of look at what are we talking about here. Why is this information given? So let's come down here. And this is towards the end of the passage here, where it says, statistically speaking, you measure relationships like this with a correlation, where perfect correspondence yields a correlation of 1, and then no correspondence yields a correlation of 0. So in the context here, this is when we're opening up the paragraph, opening up the passage, and it starts by saying your reputation is difficult. Then it says, here's how we know, basically based on these experiments and these studies. And then it comes down here and basically says, this is how they were measured, right? So they were measured with correspondence, correlation, and it gives us a little statistical background to sort of explain the measurements that we're going to be using. So what I would say is just it kind of gives us context, or it gives us the background knowledge, or it sort of explains a little bit, helps the reader understand the passage. So let's see if we can find an answer choice that will match that. So A says that it's given in order to correct a common misunderstanding of how they quantify certain data from experiments. So this right here, I think, is correct, right? We are talking about quantifying certain data from experiments. The issue is that it's not really right to call it a misunderstanding. For this to be true, it would have to present it as like most people don't understand how statistics work, or most people have sort of this opinion of this or this thought about that, but it actually works in this way. So we would need some presentation that this is a misunderstanding, a common one at that, and then we could get the correction for it. Because we don't get that, I think we can eliminate A. Then we have B, which says the purpose is to forestall potential objections to how data from the experiments were analyzed in the study. And I don't think this is a very good answer choice either, because here what we're doing is we're giving like a counter-argument in advance, right? Forestalling potential objections to how the data is analyzed, which would basically be like, some people might take issue with the fact that we use correlation, blah, 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 but here's why we did it this way, etc. We're not really presented with any potential objections. It's not really framed as relating to that. So for that reason, I think that we can get rid of answer choice B as well. Then we have C, which says it's used to draw attention to a pattern evident in the conclusion of the experiments. The way that I understand this is this would basically have to come when we're talking about the conclusions, or we're talking about the findings, and we're saying there's a pattern that's evident in the conclusion, but we haven't even gotten to the conclusion yet. That comes in the next paragraph after this. We're only talking about methodology, so we can get rid of C, which leaves us with D. And D says provide context for a way in which the results of the experiment will be discussed. And I think this is right. Providing context, right, for how the results will be discussed, which the results are discussed in terms of correlations, right? Correlation of 1.3. In the figure, we have correlations. Here we have correlations of 0.55. So it does give us the background knowledge and the background context to understand the experiments. For this reason, I'm going to choose answer choice D as my correct answer for question number 12.